Hey everybody, Bitcoin right now is testing the 13,800 level again. If we can break above this level decisively, that could spike a huge rally. But there are a lot of bearish signs in the Bitcoin chart as well, and this specific indicator just flipped bearish. Which is really significant. We are going to have a look at why this indicator is flipping bearish today. Then guys, we are going to have a look at the Volatility Index and the S&P 500. This might predict what is going to happen with Bitcoin as well, as Bitcoin and the financial markets are still heavily correlated. And we are going to have a look at Ethereum and Chainlink as well. Guys, you don't want to miss this, so make sure you watch this video till the end. Smash the like button, drop a comment down below. With that being said, my name is Jeroen. Welcome to the Blockchain Today, the channel where you subscribe for daily crypto videos. And right now, let's jump into the charts. Okay guys, let's start off with having a look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And as you can hear maybe right now, is that the audio quality is getting better because I've just purchased a new microphone. So I hope you guys like the new quality and it is a little bit more pleasant to the ear right now. So guys, drop a like, and for the ones that are new to the channel, please do subscribe. I'm uploading daily videos about the financial and the cryptocurrency markets. So right now, when we have a look at the daily time frame, then we can see that Bitcoin is trying again to push above the 13,800 level, which is a very important level because it is the resistance of the bigger uprising channel right here. If we would draw a parallel channel from the uptrending support right here and we would extend it to the upside, then we can see that that is actually the resistance of the uprising channel, the bigger channel we are trading in. But it is as well the previous high right here where we got rejected when we had this massive run from 4,000 to approximately 13,800. So this is a very significant level right now, and if we can break above this level decisively, I think that could spark a rally to the upside. But on the counter side, I think the signs right now are showing that right here in this position we are not that strong yet. And I want to start off with having a look at the volume, of course. Because when we have a look at the volume, then we can see since we've bottomed out right here, the volume is actually declining. And when we have a look at the price, then the price is increasing. And this is actually a diverging, guys, showing us that even though the trend is strongly to the upside, volume is not backing up that confidence. So that is definitely something to worry. If we have a break above the 13,800 level and we are seeing massive amounts of volume coming in, surpassing previous highs, then that is definitely a sign that there is a lot of confidence behind a breakout above 13,800, which would be a bullish sign for Bitcoin. Then the other sign why Bitcoin is not that strong up here is if we have a look at the RSI, then we are actually at overbought conditions. We just got rejected at a horizontal resistance level. Let me draw a line right here. And as you can see, we got rejected from this level multiple times. But it doesn't have to be a bearish signal directly, but it does show that in the immediate short term, momentum is already overextended. So if we would like to see the bullish scenario play out, we would like to see a retracement on the RSI while the price is moving sideways or slightly upwards. That would be a very bullish sign, which means that the RSI is creating space for more bullish momentum for another leg to the upside. Like we have seen in 2019 as well, right? We can see right here the momentum indicator topped out and we retraced to the downside while the price was actually moving sideways, slightly to the upside. The RSI created some space for bullish momentum, and that was exactly the moment we saw the next leg up in the price of Bitcoin. And let's have a look at the 8-hour time frame, guys, because the 8-hour time frame can be quite significant now and then. And right here we can see that we are actually trading in a smaller uprising channel. But guys, this also could be a megaphone pattern. So we have clearly a uprising channel right here, but we also have a extended broadening resistance, which means that we potentially also could be in this megaphone pattern. And guys, most of the time a megaphone pattern is actually a bearish signal. But yeah, like I said in my previous videos as well, I'm not going to assume that we are trading in a bearish pattern, as Bitcoin right now is still creating higher lows and higher highs in the short term. However, guys, I am going to look closely to this specific support level, and that is the uptrending support right here. I do think when we break below this uptrending support decisively, which right now is aligning as well with the 13,200 level, which is as well a support level, then that would be price-wise the first bearish indicator as showing us that we might reverse into a downtrend. But as long as Bitcoin is creating higher lows and continues to push the price to the upside, I'm not flipping bearish yet. However, I am extremely cautious. Then guys, let's go back to the daily time frame, and I want to show you a specific indicator that as of today is flipping bearish. And I've been talking about this indicator in my previous videos as well. I have been announcing this indicator like a week ago, telling you guys that I think there is a high probability that we might see a inversion on the hash ribbons. So what does it mean when we are seeing an inversion of the hash ribbons? Well, it actually does mean that we are seeing capitulations under the Bitcoin miners, because the green line right here is representing the shorter term time frame moving average of the Bitcoin hash rate, and the gray line right here is representing the long term time frame moving average of the Bitcoin hash rate. So when the short term moving average is dropping below the long term moving average, when we are seeing that in the price, we are calling that a bear cross. Sometimes even a dead cross, but when we are seeing it in the hash ribbons, it is called a inversion of the hash ribbons, and that is representing miners capitulation. Which basically means that an increased amount of miners have quitted their operations, and therefore we are seeing lower hash rates. And if we have a look at the past, every time we have seen an inversion, then that was creating selling pressure on the price of Bitcoin. But yes, sometimes it can as well be a lagging indicator. So for example, right here we have seen an inversion of the hash ribbons, and eventually that had a bearish effect or was creating selling pressure on the price of Bitcoin. One remarkable thing is after an inversion we often get a buy signal, and these buy signals are great moments to accumulate Bitcoin, because most of the time when we are seeing a buy signal being fired on the hash ribbons, that has a bullish effect on the price. So right here we can see as well, after we had a buy signal, the price increased. Then the previous time we have seen an inversion of the hash ribbon, it was actually a lagging indicator, because we had the big drop right here due to all the lockdowns and uncertainty, which eventually led to miners quitting their operations. So the opposite is true as well, guys. The price can decrease, and that can be a reason for miners to quit their operations. But the opposite can be true as well. Miners are quitting their operations, which eventually leads to selling pressure on the price of Bitcoin. Well, right here we got a buy signal as well when we returned back to normal levels, and eventually that had a bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin in the shorter term time frame. Then guys, right here we had an inversion of the hash ribbon and the price was moving sideways. So we do see it as some effect of selling pressure right here. And the previous time we have seen an inversion on the hash ribbon, that was right here in 2018 October, and that was right before this huge dump. So here the inversion of the hash ribbon was a great signal warning us that we most likely going to see increased selling pressure, and yeah, we got a huge dump in the price of Bitcoin. And right now we are seeing it again, a inversion of the hash ribbon. And what could be the reason that miners are quitting their operations right here while the price of Bitcoin actually is increasing? Well guys, I want to show you this article which states that Bitcoin's hash rate drops as China's rainy season ends. So what they're basically stating is that mining Bitcoin in China is a profitable business due to cheap hydroelectricity, at least for as long as it rains. And when it stops raining, electricity is becoming more and more expensive, which makes that most of the miners are moving to a different place. And I think this is quite interesting, guys, because this shows that it has to do with the climate. And the climate is of course correlated with time. So when we go back to the Bitcoin chart, then we can see something interesting. Last year around this time we have seen miners capitulation as well. We saw an inversion of the hash ribbon, which means that the hash rate is dropping. And this makes sense with the story of China, because right here we were in a similar period where the rain season is stopping, and the inversion of the hash ribbon before that were as well at similar times, starting from November right here. But this eventually led to a huge dump in the Bitcoin price. But yeah, when we have a look at the time, then these were actually similar periods. Very interesting. But even though we have a good explanation that the hash rate is dropping due to Chinese miners which are moving their operations to different countries and so on, both of the times we have seen increased selling pressure when we have seen the inversion. I'm definitely considering this indicator into my analysis, and this indicator does align with the RSI, which is overbought on the daily time frame. And it doesn't mean that in the shorter term time frame we can have another push to the upside. But it does show me that right now there is a increased risk of longing Bitcoin. Then guys, sentiment wise, when we have a look at the crypto fear and greed index, right now we are back at greedy levels. Which again is showing us that we are getting closer and closer to a top. Then guys, I quickly want to jump into the 4-hour time frame before we are going to see other charts. Because it looks like here that we could be forming this megaphone pattern. Which is a broadening pattern. And right now we can see Bitcoin is getting closer to the resistance, which is right now at approximately 14,200. And if we have a look at the RSI on the 4-hour time frame, then we can actually see some interesting things. And that is that the price is making higher highs, but on the RSI we are seeing continued lower highs. So guys, this is a huge warning signal, showing us that the momentum of this uptrend is not that strong and that bearish momentum might step in. And as you guys know, a broadening pattern where we are seeing increased volatility is most of the time a bearish sign too. Then guys, if we are talking about volatility, I want to show you the volatility index of the S&P 500 because I have been talking about this chart quite often. And I've told you guys that the moment we are breaking above this resistance right here, that will be the moment that we are going to see a drop in the S&P 500. And that is exactly what we have seen. The moment we broke above the fix right here, we saw increased volatility on the S&P 500 and we saw a huge drop in the financial markets. But right here we can see that we have surpassed the previous high, which is actually bullish for the VIX, which eventually is bearish for the S&P 500. But as you can see, we do have a gap right here on the VIX, and these gaps, as well as in Bitcoin, are most likely to be filled in the shorter term time frame. So it is possible that the VIX is coming down to fill the gap before we are seeing a continuation of this uptrend. And if we have a look at the S&P 500, then we can see something similar, right? This was approximately the moment that we broke out from the VIX. That was the exact moment where we saw a decrease in the stock market, but right now we have created a gap here as well, which could mean that in the shorter term time frame we are going to see a breather right here to fill the gap before we continue this trend to the downside. And if I bring out the RSI, guys, then we can see something interesting as well. So right here we have the RSI. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame. Then we can actually see a bullish divergence. So the price is creating lower highs, but in the RSI we are actually seeing higher highs, which is a bullish divergence, showing us that right here in the shorter term time frame, because we are looking at the 1-hour chart, we could see a bounce right here, which would make a lot of sense. We would fill the gap right here before we are seeing a continuation to the downside. And guys, this chart could have an impact on Bitcoin as well, that in the shorter term time frame, when we are seeing a bounce in the S&P 500, that we are seeing that bounce being expressed in the Bitcoin price as well. Then guys, a quick reminder, I want to show you Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative, because my prediction has came true. We dropped below this important support level of 0.032. We came back, we backtested the former support as resistance, and right now we are coming down in the Bitcoin comparative. And I've been telling you guys already for a long time that I'm watching these levels right here to accumulate Ethereum for the longer term time frame in the Bitcoin comparative. We have been trading already for some time in this uprising channel, and I definitely expect a bounce right here. If we were to break below this level, then that could be a bearish sign, showing us that there is a lot of weakness in the altcoins. But as of for now, I think these are great times to accumulate Ethereum in the Bitcoin comparative. Then guys, I quickly want to bring up the Chainlink chart, because Chainlink is actually looking quite bearish. We had a triangle formation kind of, then we broke out of the triangle formation, but the breakout was quite weak. We haven't seen that much volume, and we saw a divergence in the shorter term time frame, but right now we have just broken below the support, which is showing a lot of weakness in Chainlink in the Bitcoin comparative. If we are seeing an increased amount of volume coming along right here, then I think we could expect a bigger drop in the price of Chainlink in the Bitcoin comparative. So guys, this is an important chart to watch along with Ethereum, because this is definitely showing how much confidence there is right now in altcoins. But okay guys, that was it for today's video. If you all enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. And if you want to learn how to trade Bitcoin, you can watch one of my tutorials, and I will see you all in the next video.